Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you are joining me on my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, or tell a friend. Matter of fact, just do all of them. Like, subscribe, and tell a friend. You got to show me. And what I mean is that have you ever been talking to someone and they try to convince you that a person that you know or a thing that you've seen is one thing when you know that's not what you've seen, you know that's not what it is? I'm a teacher, and a lot of times people will tell me, "Oh, well, this person is smart." And the only thing I ever say is, it's not that I don't believe you. Show me. If someone's intelligent, then the intelligence should show at some point. I feel that way in every walk of life. If you're talented, the talent should show at some point. I understand that there are multiple things that you can be intelligent at. There is no one thing that you have to be good at in order for me to be impressed. I just want you to show me your talent, your intelligence at whatever it is that you do. That brings me to this idea behind Zack Wilson being the stamped, done number 2 prospect in the draft. And it really brings me to Trevor Lawrence being the stamped number 1 prospect in the draft. Although I admit I don't have as much problem with Trevor Lawrence being the number 1 pick as I do with Zack Wilson being the number 2 pick. And here's why. Everybody says that they fell in love with Zack Wilson during the draft process. That's interesting. So nobody fell in love with Zack Wilson during the actual football season when he was playing games. They fell in love with all of the stuff that comes after you play the game. I'm going to tell you something that most evaluators know, that people who pretend to be evaluators or only focus on one element of evaluating will never be able to tell you. You don't actually have to go back to the film in order to know who's good and who's not good. The top 10 players, maybe even top 20 players that are the most talented in any draft, they pop out immediately on screen. A phenomenal offensive lineman, they flash on screen when you're watching live. You don't even have to go back. You do, because you want to see the negatives. You want to see where they fall short. But the reality of it is that when they come out there, when they go out there, when they play on a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday night or a Thursday afternoon, depending upon when they play, they're going to flash the talent necessary to show you, oh my God, this person is elite. Film and heavy study of film are when you're trying to predict what they can be. So here's what I'll say about Zack Wilson. Somebody in the pre-draft process looked at the film heavily and said, Zack Wilson could be this. But that doesn't mean that's what Zack Wilson is. And to me, when you pick somebody in the top 10 picks, top 20 picks, maybe even in the first round, quite honestly, unless you don't have needs, you need to be picking somebody who they're going to be right now. Because in the NFL, unlike some of these other leagues, your fortunes can change just like that. You have to take advantage of the rookie contract, because the rookie contract puts you in so much better position to be able to maneuver and put together a team that can win, that if you wait until they're in their 3rd or 4th or even 5th year to be good, then you're going to have to then pay them those next few years for what they did the first 4 to 5 years. Whereas if you pick somebody who can come in and be an impact right now, that person's going to pay dividend. You don't want to have to take your lumps. You don't want to have somebody learn on the job while they're getting banged up. This is the NFL. This ain't basketball. So when they tell me Zack Wilson is the number 2 pick, and I look at Zack Wilson and I don't even see a first round pick, I don't know. The treatment for Zack Wilson postseason, pre-draft process, that's where everybody says they fell in love with him. Pre-draft process. Nobody said they were in love with him during the games. You know why? Because during the games, he did not show me that he was a first-round draft pick. He showed me he was a developmental quarterback, somebody who had the potential to be good, not great, good. All of the skills that they talk about with Zack Wilson, there are other quarterbacks in this draft who have them in spades. He does not check the box off over Justin Wilson in any category. He's not bigger. He's not faster. He's not stronger. He doesn't have a stronger arm. He doesn't read defense as well, regardless at what people will try to tell you. He's not as big game. He isn't as clutch. He isn't as tough. All of those things that we take for granted when it comes to Zack Wilson, Justin Fields has those in spades. Yet, now we have people talking about Justin Fields dropping all the way to the end of the first round? Are you absolutely crazy? If you want to tell me that Zack Wilson is the number 2 prospect in this draft, if you want to even tell me that Zack Wilson is just the number 2 pick in this draft, show me. Because all I keep seeing is the same 5 plays that everybody else sees, and they're all versus bum competition. The one time that they had an actual legitimate game, and by legitimate game, I mean a game versus another team that was good, and that was Coastal Carolina, he was not impressive. Yeah, but keep telling me about Justin Fields and how he had a bad game versus Northwestern, who's one of the smartest defensive units in the entire country. I'll believe you. Another thing that's always got me about the draft is the idea that draft capital exists. The idea that you would give up draft picks in order to move up because this other draft pick is more valuable. I personally just don't even agree with it. Like, when you're a football team that's nowhere near a championship, you should never be zeroed in on one player. Your palette should be wide. Your thought process should be vast on what you believe you should bring to the table or you can bring to the table as draft equity. Because if it's not, then what are we doing? If you are a team that is several players away from being a Super Bowl team, then why are you zeroing in on the best or the defensive end that your team needs, or the linebacker that your team needs, or the quarterback that your team needs? You should be taking the highest value picks that you can to flood your team with talent, and then figure out how to develop that talent as quickly as possible. When you are a team that's not a playoff team, you don't have time for developmental players. You should be drafting guys who are going to be starters or who may not be a starter right now, but is going to give you major minutes and they'll be a starter in a year. The idea that because you're not good anyway, you should take guys who you then have to develop means you're trying to fire your coach. Because by the time those players are good, he's going to have a record that says he should be fired. And then you're going to let somebody else come in and reap the benefits of what's been done. See Cleveland. Hey, Hugh Jackson. And I'm not really here to defend Hugh Jackson, but think about how he was done. Hey, Hugh Jackson, we're going to suck on purpose for 3 years. We're going to suck on purpose for 3 years. We're going to collect all of this talent. Oh, Hugh, now that we have all this talent and we suck for 3 years, we're going to get you out of here and bring somebody else in. And now those people get an opportunity to reap the benefits of all of that talent. It's a dirty game out there, ladies and gentlemen, but we see it all over the place. Look at Jacksonville. People are talking about, oh, well, Jacksonville's a mess. Jacksonville's a mess. Jacksonville's a competitive team. They're not winning, but they're competitive. Washington's a competitive team. So when you get rid of a coach and bring in a new coach and allow them to reap the benefits of all of the lumps that the other coach took because he was working with a bunch of developmental players, well, hell, that's no good. We have to think about these things when we think about how we want to draft and what's our purpose in drafting. If you are a GM, you're not thinking about the head coach. It's clear because there's not one head coach in the NFL that doesn't want to win right now. Not one. Every single coach in the NFL, they want to win right now. They don't want to develop over time. They don't want to wait for a guy to mature. They can afford to wait 2 to 3 years because they know that if they wait, by the time that player is good, they're out of a job. History shows it. There's only one team in the NFL that has ever proven to be consistent and loyal to coaches. It's not New England because Bill Belichick's the only one. It's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, in my lifetime, I am 41 years old. Pittsburgh has had 3 coaches. In my lifetime, that's loyalty. Everybody else, they know they've got 2 to 3 years. And you can't get better in 2 to 3 years taking a project left tackle, taking a project defensive end, taking a cornerback that you think may be good once they learn the NFL. You need to be taking guys who are good right now, and the draft is full of them. Yet we keep allowing ourselves to fall in love with the potential of these other players when you have proven commodities here. So you know what happens? I'll tell you what happens. Really good teams get Asante Samuel Jr. because the other teams, the bad teams, don't draft him because they go, oh, well, he's too short. I'm going to go with this 6'1" guy who still has some stuff to work out, but we can get him into the program and we can make him better. Meanwhile, Asante Samuel is just over there getting hands on footballs. I thought that was the entire point of being a cornerback, to get your hand on a football. So good teams are going to get him. A good team is going to end up with a Justin Fields. By what everybody's telling you, if he drops in the draft and he ends up dropping and fall into a team like, say, New England, then people are going to complain. Oh my God, New England, they just have the formula. They have an embarrassment of riches. No, you keep allowing these people to fall to them. You keep allowing them to get these free agents for cheap because you don't want to pay them. And they go, oh, well, okay, come over here for a year. do it the Patriot way, then go get your money somewhere else. They're not doing anything wrong. You're the ones, you guys who can't make the playoffs, you guys who keep saying, oh, next year, or we're building something here. How long does it take to build? The salary cap in the NFL has created a parity that allows you to be successful right now. Take advantage. Stop wasting time. Show me that you know what you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this 2 times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. Give us a 5-star rating. It's always appreciated. And if you're joining me on my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, tell a friend. We'll see you next time. Peace.